Hi folks, John O'Leary coming to you from Horse Problems Australia, and welcome to this week's podcast, which is about head shy horses, or horses that are difficult to bridle. I read a lot from people on unbridleable horses, normally caused by being belted around the head, or the famous ear twitch, which some vets use or others. But it's something that you should never do because it often ends with disastrous effects right throughout a horse's life. Once a horse becomes head shy, you've got a big problem, and a lot of them only a professional can bridle. Now I'm not sure, this horse only arrived here 2 days ago or yesterday. I'm not sure if this horse is ear shy or mouth shy. But no doubt he will tell us. I suspect it could be mouth shy as well, but you can see that he's paranoid. But unlike a lot of them, you can, good boy, you can touch his ears a bit. There are far worse than this. However, the other thing of course is that these breakers, when they come here, horsemen rely on the horse to tell us everything that's happened in their past life, because often owners don't know, and other owners do know but won't tell you. So it's up to us to find out. But the horse never lies. Only humans lie. Horses never lie. And so you can rely on everything that they say because they always tell the truth. Now, this horse is quiet, as you can see. I suspect that this horse has been played around with also, because I put a roller on him before. He wasn't girthy. He lunges, and he's obviously had a bridle on. Now, to put a bridle on, you can see the evasion that this horse, he's got the world's best evasion techniques, and of course if you weren't 6 foot tall, you would have no hope of putting a bridle on this horse, or if he weren't strong. But I'm not going to persevere with that. Now, how do you fix ear shy horses or mouth shy horses? And I suspect this one may be mouth shy, because I've had a bridle on him, and when I took it off, it was a violent reaction from the mouth, not the ears. But how do you fix them? Well, Uncle Pat's Natural Horsemanship, of course, which I recommend to everyone, and advance and retreat, reward and relief, bit by bit by bit. Advance and retreat, incidentally invented by an Australian, Kel Jeffries. But I can tell you that can take months and months and months. It does work, but never totally truly compared to the Australian horseman systems, some of the Australian horseman systems of breaking horses in. Now, this one probably hasn't been seen on the podcast, but Australian horsemen, they train their horses to a full range of leg restraints, which ends up saving the horses' lives every time they get hooked in fences going forward, because they'll wait for you to come and get you out of the fence. They won't fight and rip and tear and get $1,000 vet bills, and all horses be out of action. And horses that I break in are saved regularly. So now this horse doesn't know, but he's an Arab. Most Arabs are lovely, quiet horses, and this horse is as well. So I put a set of knee hobbles. However, don't muck around with leg restraints unless you really know what you're doing, which is why I've got a DVD on the subject, which handles every part of leg restraints and every one of them. So don't do these things without knowledge, otherwise they'll go wrong. But once a horse is trained totally to leg restraints, then they're safer for the rest of their lives. Now, this horse is resistant in the head area, and I'm just going to wrap, and I'm assessing this horse the whole time, of course. I'm just going to wrap this rope around this bloke's knee hobbles here. Good boy. Incidentally, knee hobbles are a non-event to most horses, and attempt to get him to evade until the point he learns that he can't put his head up in the air. Once he's done that, believe it or not, leg restraints, hobbles and all this sort of thing with horses that have mental problems, and this horse actually has got a mental problem. Psychological problems are the most difficult to fix, of course, and the most long term. So this horse has got a mental problem, but once they believe that they can't evade, because the mental problem triggers the evasion, you fix the evasion, you fix the mental problem, because only then can the horse see his head shy. Only then can the horse believe that you're not going to hurt him, and he can only believe when he can't evade. If he continues to evade, he breeds his own propaganda in his mind forever, because evasion breeds propaganda and they believe it. So we'll just cut the camera now, because we only get 10 minutes on these YouTube podcasts. I'm just going to persevere with this in a moment. We'll come back in a minute and see how we went. Good boy, he's a good boy. He's a good boy, yes he is, he's a good boy. A couple of minutes and he's run backwards and jumped in the air, etc, etc, etc. I'm just going to show you now, and then we'll show you again later, hopefully, but 2 minutes later, good boy, he's a lovely boy. He's a lovely boy. He's a lovely boy. Yes, he is. He's a lovely boy. Good boy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Good boy. Good boy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. Perhaps I won't come back later. Now, I've now tied this here because I know he's not going to throw himself over backwards. I've read the horse, plus we're in 30 tonne of play pit sand here anyway. But you've got to have the facilities. 2 minutes instead of 6 months advance and retreat and playing with his ears, and I can tell you then, they still won't believe you. They'll improve, but the natural horsemanship system is deficient in that particular area where they've got a mental problem. Can help a lot, but can't fix them. This one fixes them. In the end, they believe that they cannot evade. Once they cannot evade, they believe that it's okay, and then actually the leg restraint actually becomes, yeah, I know mate, I know. The leg restraint actually becomes their comfort zone, and the comfort zone of the leg restraint reverses their mental processes. See, it does, doesn't it, mate? Yeah, you agree. And so they then start to focus on the leg restraint instead of the bridle. Good boy. And give in, as this horse just gave in. It's been 2 minutes. Mrs. HP is filming this, and she won't let me tell lies, believe me. Will she, mate? So there you go. Don't try it yourself. Get my DVD if you are, and that specifically goes into everything over a long period of time with every type of leg restraint, and the safety factors that you must use so that you don't hurt your horse in the process. But once again, proving that the Australian old-fashioned horsemanship systems beat the new age natural horsemanship systems in some areas, not all, but in some areas. So a combination of everything makes the top horse person. Catch you next week when we'll be hopefully riding this lovely little boy. Bye bye. Good boy. Just before I go, watch the violent reaction to take a bridle off. So I think he's been clanged in the teeth. See you next week. Good boy.